How the hell did I get out here? Well, Sony did say I can sell drugs in the black suit. Maybe I gotta contact High or something. God, when in my timeline does this game take place? Whatever happened to my Scorpion clone? Better focus. That Panel Pals podcast is around here somewhere. Oy vey! Welcome to another episode of Panel Pals. It's our final part of our Shattered Dimensions series, and we left the Jewish Spider-Man because of Bendis. Thank you, Bendis, for this one. Ultimate Spider-Man till last. He's maybe the best one, though, isn't he?
Yeah, by far, dude. I'm Skull Ryan, and over here we've got...
MN Stash, before we forget.
Ooh. Well, we are in the profile picture, like.
Well, I mean, some people might say there's a different podcast that's the best, but they would be wrong.
They'd be dead wrong.
Yeah, I mean, one's an AI
Because it
anyway.
takes us less than an hour to talk about shitty comics. So,
oh, God.
Ultimate Mate, Spider-Man.
He's ultimate?
Not the weird 2024, why is he married? Kids. No.
Oh.
Of course,
Not
I'm being
the-
sarcastic. It's the best Marvel's been in years. But
Not
the classic.
Drake Bell?
No, God, no. Not the shitty Drake Bell fucking.
Where's the White Tiger, Luke Cage, Nova, and Iron Fist team up?
Ironically, the worst parts of Ultimate Spider-Man the comic were the team-ups.
Like the time Wolverine took his body and tried to sleep with Mary Jane, who was 16.
Tried to finger his 16-year-old girlfriend. All the time Daredevil was a prick. The entire universe.
Yeah. All the time Moon Knight was evil, but then not evil,
Yeah.
but then Ronan.
Moon Knight shoots up a school. What? No reason, I promise. Doctor Strange was okay until he gets his head blown up.
Oh, we can't forget about the Blob. Tastes like chicken.
The blob tastes a bit like chicken.
The giant man took one back.
Giant man bites him back. The Ultimate Universe of the early 2000s
The
was
incest?
a mess of post 9/11 terror. The Avengers are now called the Ultimates, and they're a counter-terrorist task force, of which the only one who's not a dickhead was Iron Man. Captain America is a piece of shit.
Yeah, especially the Spidey. I hated that, that whole death of Spider-Man. Captain America was such a dog to him. That's why I love when Aunt May slapped. Doesn't she slap his face or some shit like that in the funeral?
Yeah, and she tells him like he was Aunt May's boss, because after spoilers, Ultimate Spider-Man fucking dies. Peter's done fine for months. He's kicked everyone's ass. He's been the best hero. All of a sudden, the Ultimates start training him, and he gets killed. Thanks, Captain America. Can you believe? Sorry, what shocked me in this game? The whitewashed Ultimate Spider-Man.
He wasn't Jewish.
Now listen, you say Ultimate Spider-Man, of course. It's Miles Morales.
Oh, so yeah, no, that's the correct part. I was going more the Jewish route with the way Bendis
He was absolutely Jewish as hell, yeah.
It's funny because I'm pretty sure in Miles' comics too, when Bendis was writing them, he'd have Miles be Jewish as well.
Yeah.
He just didn't give a shit. Any excuse to write in Jewish, like slang, you take it.
It's like, you write what you know, don't you? At the end of the day.
I bet even his Matt Murdock was like, I can't remember any Jewish slang, but I bet like Joe Quesada would look at what he handed and he's like, how many times I'll tell you, my Brian? It's like, this guy is a Catholic.
The Devil's Christian. The Devil is not Jewish.
You got Daredevil going like, Hoopspa, oy vey, happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah, mate. In Born Again, where we fights Father Christmas. That was an early warning. Have you read all of the classic Ultimate Spider-Man run?
Yeah, I've read all of Peter's shit up till he dies. I don't care for the rest. I don't want to read when he comes back.
Mate. Same. Every couple of years, I reread the whole.
But Volume 2 is so bad. I can't read Volume 2 anymore.
Mate,
I read it once and I put it down.
It's awful.
Even the
After
Mysterio
Ultimatum,
was
mate,
shit.
even exactly, they took Mysterio, who's one of my favourites, and I was still like, this is shit. And I'll tell you for why.
Literally, the whole thing was a downgrade. The writing was a downgrade. The art was a
It
massive
was a
downgrade.
downgrade.
Even the setup, like the having Gwen live with him with Johnny Storm and fucking Bobby Drake was
Oh, mate.
horrible.
He was desperate to do Amazing Friends, but it was just shit. And like,
It's just
Ultimatum, the story directly before Ultimatum was the Clone Saga. And in
He did
that,
the
he
Clone
bins
Saga,
off
right?
Kitty
To be fair.
Pryde and he gets back with Mary Jane. And then there's suddenly a time skip after Ultimatum where like everything's. What's the point?
The best part
If
about
he hadn't died
Ultimatum,
in Ultimatum, go on.
the best part for me was when he was saving people and Jameson's watching,
Yes, and
and
Jonas
he's like,
sees that made it worth it.
oh
But
shit, he is a hero. It's like, fuck.
yeah, and the 180 he does after that, mate, like he offers to pay for his college. He backs up Spider-Man, and he knows he cocked up by talking all
They
that shit.
literally took Jameson's biggest character flaw in the 616 and then flipped it on its head.
And it was fucking boss, mate.
Yeah, it's like, okay, he has the vendetta, but it can't last forever. And they did it in such a good, natural way where he sees him as a hero. He's like, okay, yeah, I'm wrong. Fine, I'm wrong.
He eats his words.
In 616, he's proven wrong on the daily, and he still hates. He gets saved by Spider-Man, and he still hates him.
He gets saved by Spider-Man from his own creation as well. The hubris, but Jonah doesn't care.
It does my head. I can't stand Jameson in the 616 sometimes, but the 16 was it 1610? Is that world?
The brand new one.
No, the old one.
Or 1610.
Yeah. That one, Jameson was done a bit better. I do love when they introduce him at the start, because he's like, oh shit, here's Jameson.
He's getting like bullied by the enforcers, isn't he? And Spidey saves him.
Did you like how Spidey was he wasn't like a photographer. Well, he was at the start, but he was working.
He was a web
websites.
designer, wasn't he? Very 2000s.
I love in the game though that cutscene where MJ's calling, I think, but he's working at the Daily Bugle. He's just typing away, and then doesn't like Electro or some shit come out of nowhere and
at the window, yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking cool. Do you think this game with with Ultimate and Shattered Dimensions? Do you feel like you could link it to the other stuff, like the game or the comics?
I think so. I've been thinking about this after playing it. I believe this game takes place just before Ultimatum, because in the Deadpool level, Deadpool mentions the Spider-Woman, who was the clone of Peter from the Clone Saga.
Didn't he say like he'd still do it? I can't remember, but I feel like
he does at one point. The paedophile Ultimate Deadpool says, "Hey, how hot's Kitty Pryde? Bear in mind, in this universe, Kitty's 15." But he mentions Spider-Woman. He mentions Doctor Strange, which means Doctor Strange isn't dead yet. Yeah, showing the Deadpool ad read. So the Clone Saga's happened, but Ultimatum hasn't, because he mentions Doctor Strange is alive.
Even what last I remember was like Deadpool. Was he Professor X?
He was like a shapeshifter who just wore Professor X's.
Because I remember that really weird, like ugly face he had, where it looked like a almost like a jelly shell
type of thing. Yeah. And he died at the end of that story, but
how it like links in.
I think in the when the screen's loading, it comes up with hints. It does mention that Deadpool survived when Spider-Man and the X-Men mash him up, but it's drove him a bit mental, because obviously they wanted normal Deadpool, don't they? Deadpool in Ultimate was far different than the Amazing, you know what I mean? The main Deadpool, because he was just like a bloodthirsty mercenary. He wasn't goofy or nothing.
That whole story, I didn't really like that story. I remember like it was in a good flow, the book, and then all of a sudden they're in that island.
Yeah.
And it just halted everything.
It did put a fucking big pause button on it, but I did like how at the end of that story, Peter's like, I'm going to have to like explain to May what's going on because I've been gone now for like a full day. She's going to be terrified. And when he turns up home, she's left a note on the fridge saying like, the date went really well, Peter. I've not been home myself yet. And he's like, oh, Christ.
May, one thing I liked about Aunt May in that world was that she actually like would get sick of his shit constantly.
Mate, she took no shit, didn't she? Like 616 May fainting and faking heart attacks.
Yeah.
But ultimately, May pulls a gun on Eddie Brock.
Not Eddie
She's
Brock.
not messing around.
He's another pedophile in the 16th.
He was, mate.
He wanted to shake Gwen Stacy, and then he got
tries
upset
to stick
when
it in
she said
15-year-old
no.
Gwen. Yeah, and she even says, she goes, I'm 15, and he's like,
I thought you were that kind of girl.
Mate, what a piece of shit he was.
But then Mark Bagley had no right to draw May as like that. I remember one page where she's like lying on the couch. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? No way,
Eddie
Mark
Brock was
Bagley's
clearly
done
Eminem, wasn't
fan
it?
service though.
Is it the therapist issue?
I remember she was like asleep on the couch. And they're like, we got Aunt May fan service in a Spider-Man comic. It's fucking wild. Who asked for that? Was Bendis like, hey Mark, I got a thing for like these cougars lately. He's like,
Gil,
say no more. Say no more. Good. Yeah, he was based off Eminem, I think. Yeah.
He definitely. And then Eminem went on to do the theme song.
It's
for
all
Venom.
poetry. It's all poetry.
It's all connected.
Is the Human Torch song connected?
It's gotta be, mate. Do it.
Flame on.
God damn, mate. What a find.
Oh god. Which one was your favorite mission out of the 3 for our boy Ultimate?
If I'm honest, I did enjoy the Electro mission. Mostly
Biff is funny.
But yeah, Biff Tannen was Electro and it fit so good.
I love when he's like, what a dork. And he's just like,
the butthead. Yeah. Mate, the banter. Like, I do think out of all these Spider-Men, Ultimate Spider-Man was genuinely making me laugh.
He felt like the only one that was Spider-Man. Like, not even Amazing felt like Spider-Man. This one, like,
say like cringy, like dad joke things. Like,
can I come?
But like, Ultimate, there's a bit where he's like, he's finding Electro and he randomly goes like, "Oh, hey, my phone's out of charge. Would you mind?"
Yeah.
Taking the piss out of everyone.
But the bit at the start the truck, and then he's like,
yeah,
I'm so impressed. I've never seen it.
Yeah, Electro's like, see what I can do now? And he's like, wow, I've never seen anyone start a truck before. And then he sends like another truck later and he goes, you know, you're really into trucks. Are you sure you want to be called Electro? How about Electruck? Truck Master. And he like lists off like 7 different fucking truck related villains. One of them was Truck the Doom. Professor Pickup. He's just ripping into his body.
With no pants. And then and then like he's like, I am full power, and yet still no pants.
That intro, yeah. It was like, oh dude, no one wants to see
your junk.
But like it shows him covering it with his hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, he does. He actually covers his hand. Josh Keaton nailed this fucking one as well. He killed it in the role.
Absolutely.
I love even. Did he do a comic book guy reference as well with the the Deadpool mission? Because I remember like Deadpool was spouting shit. Yeah, lamest supervillain ever.
What was your favorite level?
Honestly, I'd have to go maybe the Carnage one because I love the horror element to it.
Yeah.
Like the way they try to build it up and how like, there's zombies everywhere. It's crazy.
It was kicking off in that level, wasn't it, dude?
You're gonna go back out there? But why? He's like, because with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh.
Something you don't understand.
That bit's sick, because as we say, he's been joking the whole game, and suddenly shit's serious, and he's like, you fucked up here, mate. But he'll sort it.
Hates them? He was
Mate,
so
he
pissed off.
should. In his universe, this is the thing that killed Gwen, and now it's back and it's infecting all these soldiers, and I'd be pissed.
But it was such a pointless reason too. They're like, oh, there was energy spikes when he was next to the tablet,
yeah.
so we're gonna.
Why
It's
did
like
you even have
typical
Carnage?
Shield shenanigans, anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, they can't help themselves. It's like Oscorp in the friggin' Amazing movies. Every villain seems to just. There is a bit during the Carnage level where there's an announcement that says like there's been a containment breach in like cell M9000 or something. And I did remember back in the Ultimate Universe, the biggest threat was Magneto. And he had his own cell on the Triskelion, like buried deep underground. Which you wouldn't really put him deep underground where the metal deposits are, would you? But
if he got the symbiote, though, that would have been crazy.
Mate. Well, that was one of my big problems with Ultimate. Everyone was a dick. But like Magneto especially, in the 616, he feels justified in what he's doing because of like the Nazis and shit, doesn't he? He can kind of be seen as a kind of hero in the 616. But in Ultimate, he was just like, no, we're better. We'll kill the humans. We'll have the planet. He was a pure villain. There was no nuance to him.
Oh, yeah, you gotta get someone on Twitter complaining the fact that he's doing bad things when he's a villain. Like, I saw someone complain about Deathstroke in the Judas contract. Like, complain that he's a bad guy and what he did with Terra and shit. I'm like, well, he's the bad guy. He's the main antagonist. Like, of course, the main antagonist is gonna be a bad person. Imagine the Judas contract, but he hands out flowers to Titans instead. I remember in the Electro mission. I think it was, when he does like that slow walk. I can't remember where it was, or if it's when you have to save a bunch of workers. It's just something like, oh, ew, do you and your generator like need some alone time?
Yeah, because he walks in, he's going, oh yeah, baby, right there. Spidey's like, oh.
Oh, it's fucking funny. I love just everything about his banter was the best. Did you like which one was your favorite like set piece? Because I found that the Ultimate Universe had the biggest ones.
I liked in the Deadpool level where you're racing the tidal wave.
The only issue I have with that
change. Go ahead.
Is the web slinging is nowhere near refined enough for it.
Yeah,
it makes zero sense.
Gameplay, this in it.
It just doesn't make sense because, for one, there's nothing to attach the webs to. But then sometimes it just doesn't shoot a web out, and you're just left there, just falling.
It was pretty shit. Like, but we've moaned about the webbing, ain't we? They all four of them had this problem.
I'm just looking at.
Maybe this is why the next game was purely indoors, so they didn't have to worry about moaning.
Yeah, they just kept the sky falling thing for $29 and left it at that.
When it just does it down elevator shafts.
They kept the two best voice actors and then called it a day. That's all they did. I found some of the quotes where he says like, "Oh, dude, pants. No one wants to see your junk." And then Lecter is like, "Keep laughing, punk. See what I found? What do you think happens if I use it? Interest rates go down."
That bit was cool at the end. The where Electro's huge, and you've got to trick him into smashing the dam on himself.
Oh, they have that. That's like such a overused boss fight with the waist up sort of ones. It's like I swear it's in nearly every game where you have to fight a giant who like uses their arm to try and smash the ground. You always have to punch their arm for some reason, as like that's like the that's where the damage is at.
I thought it was a bit contrived how every villain had their own army of thugs at the disposal.
I do like the Deadpool one though, where it's just like it's just his
fanboys.
I love it when you get through one scene and then they're like comparing jackets. It's like if you actually order in the store, you can get it tailor made for you.
Yeah, he's like, go on, spin around. Very nice. But like Electro suddenly having these little gremlins, that's a bit
Oh, yeah.
fucky.
I mean, it was
And
the
I
only way
suppose
they could get around it.
yeah, and I suppose Carnage makes sense. He can infect people, even though I don't think he's
Well,
done it often in the books.
they used it as like the tablet thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Enhanced it.
I suppose it was like a zombie type of shit, right?
How? I mean, like Ultimate Spider-Man is considered the weakest, but if we look at all the people he's defeated, it's a pretty lengthy list.
He's got a bit of bullshit going on, don't he? Like the people he fights are designed to fuck over this. Like Electro, electricity is what kills the symbiote in 1610. Anyway, like first he zaps it off himself, doesn't he? In the one issue where he's in the black suit, and then
I
later
love
on
in the
Thor
game
kills
though.
it.
In the game, when you're fighting Venom at the start, you can like easily skip the entire fight if you trick him into walking into the wires on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, that
It's
game's sick, dude.
Yeah, you could skip the entire boss fight at the start if you really wanted to. But I mean, like, we've mentioned it before. It's just weird that this Spider-Man was given the symbiote because he considered the weakest. When, if anything, Noir is the weakest Spider-Man out of the four.
Yeah.
She already had to change his webs because before it'd just be like a little splatter thing. And then the guy, if you look at the comics, he hasn't really beaten much. He just shoots people. He's shot most of
He
these villains.
does. And then he gets the shit beat out of him by like Norman Osborn and that.
So it's like give
So I don't
him
even
the
think has super
symbiote.
strength.
Give the I don't think the kid who's beaten the Green Goblin needs it. I think he should be fine.
I was gonna say, what is like his best feat of strength in the Ultimate Comics? Yeah, he's beat the shit out of like the Goblin and that, but there's not like an "if this be my destiny" moment of him lifting a building up, is there?
Well,
For
is
Ultimate.
the game canon? Because in the game, Venom, you defeat Venom as Spidey, and Venom is strong enough to beat Wolverine in a fight, and everyone else in a fight.
I would rather
It's like
class the game as canon rather than that War of the Symbiotes shit story arc that we got.
they like
afterwards.
half canonized it, didn't they? Because there was some scenes they took later on. I remember
Yeah.
like the when him and MJ are looking in the scope about like the symbiote.
Yeah.
Was it the symbiote? They're looking at
Yeah,
something.
he's like, ew, why is it moving? Yeah, that's the I have no idea part.
Yeah.
They left out Electro, but they kept the Beetle. The ending pisses me off because he gets abducted by the Beetle and took to Latveria, and then you never see Venom again.
I hate in that game the amount of hints they have to Doom, but then you never see Doom.
Yeah.
Because they even have
You're
the
literally
embassy.
like, yeah, the Green Goblin gets busted out of prison by an agent of Doom, but you never that's it. You never see him.
The most annoying one would definitely be Spider-Man 2, because when they're like, "Oh, Peter, we need photos of the
The diplomat.
yeah, coming into town,"
Yeah.
like we need photos, and then was it an explosion? Was that when Rhino comes in?
No, it's Mysterio. Then he gets
Mysterio.
sidetracked by Mysterio robbing a shop.
Oh, that's when you just do the one punch, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a waste of time! We could have seen Doctor Doom. It's so weird.
Imagine the Raimi-verse Webman.
Yeah, that Webman actually makes jokes. What if like how he's like really politically correct because Tobey Maguire did that one gay joke, so he's like the complete opposite, or he's actually really supportive of the Crusher of Bonesaw.
Yeah.
Did your husband make that for you? Oh, cool. Maybe we can go over some design choices. Go over maybe a cup of coffee, and we can talk shop. And Toby's on the other side.
Have you seen? Sorry, I'm on the Marvel database on fandom.com. Yeah, the fucking picture for Peter Parker 616 is him in his new Doctor Doom armor. That feels a bit.
Actually pains me. Did you hear that?
Yeah. No, wait,
He's had it for like
Pets.
3 fucking issues.
In the pets subsection, it's got May the Fish, Sandwich, and Gog.
Gog. That was
Remember
like a
Gog?
one-time thing, man. The Nick Spencer run.
He
I
was
swear
more
to-
Craven's pet than Spider-Man.
Yeah, like in the
certainly.
70s he was, but then like Nick Spencer sort of made him the
Yeah.
pet, I guess. But it's you know, like
What's happening?
I thought you I was half expecting to hear Kevin the Moldy Cheese as one of them.
Yeah. Well, what the hell's Sandwich? Let me check.
I don't remember.
Oh, it's a
Sam.
dog called Sandwich.
That's such
When
a
did he have this?
shit name.
When the hell did Peter tried to keep Sandwich hidden at May's house? However, she quickly found out about Sandwich and called Animal Patrol. At May's a narc.
I'm surprised she didn't have a heart attack.
Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, 25. Who wrote this?
Oh,
Oh,
probably
it's
like
part of
the Howard
it's
Mackie run,
Dan
isn't it?
Slott. It's
Oh,
Dan
which
Slott.
volume? I think they said volume 2.
The one that had all the what's his name? The dude who paints. He's a dead good artist, but he does paints, and he did like Kingdom Come.
Oh,
I'll
Alex
probably
Ross.
tell me if I look at. Yeah, the one with all the Alex Ross covers. So after Secret Wars
Oh, that would be like volume
4, this says.
4. Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought you said 2. I was gonna say it would make sense if it was a Howard Mackie issue.
Fucking volume 2, dude. After year 1 or season 1.
That was so
Dog
shit.
shit like retcons. Dr. Octopus's explosion
Remember
gives him
the-
spider powers.
The plane crash with MJ, and how
Yeah.
he's like set on her still being alive, and everyone's like, "Dude,
But
move on."
Wasn't she secretly upstairs the whole time with the landlord who
kidnapped?
fancied it? Yeah.
Well, she wasn't
She
upstairs.
never got on
but
the
she was-
plane.
But even I remember one scene where Randy takes him to a bar, and he's
Yeah.
wearing a ring on his, I think, on the wrong finger, and then like someone thought he was gay. Like this gay guy thought he was gay, and he's like trying to ask Peter out, and then he went to Randy's like, I just That was the beauty of the Howard Mackie run. What a
Well,
redefining series that one was.
compared to the reboot of Ultimate Spider-Man, dude, doesn't hold a candle. Mackie wanted to modernise the web slinger, mate. Well, it's been done over here.
It's like Ultimate Spider-Man feels almost like a direct shot at the Howard Mackie run. Like this is how you properly do it. Because what
Why
they did
was there no?
fucking dog shit.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. It's not even worth looking into, dude.
Oh, like I remember reading it for the first time. Like, when's JMS coming? Like, what the people raved about this one?
Ultimate Spider-Man, then. The original. But it's quite funny, actually, how we have to keep saying the original. Maybe they should have called the new Ultimate line something other than Ultimate, because it is
Like,
quite
maybe
unrelated.
Like the to it, like the Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, that could
Like how
have been
people-
distinct.
The Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad and then the
Yeah.
Suicide Squad movie.
Or like Batman and Absolute Batman.
Or the Batman. You know, like
The Batman.
everyone identifies Robert Pattinson as the Batman.
Reno Romano's the Batman to me, mate.
That
Where
theme
was he in
song
this
is
game?
sick.
Yeah. The classic one or the
Batman.
upbeat 60s one, mate? Is this
The-
one that just sounds like random sad piano?
No, the Batman one, like with Reno
Yeah.
Romano.
Yeah, but like the season 3 and beyond one,
No, like
where it was like
season
the
one?
60s one. Ooh.
Like remember the whisper voice, like the
Yeah.
Batman.
The Batman.
That
I
was
like the
sick.
more upbeat 60s one from like season 3, because you
Remember
know,
Mr.
no, yeah,
Freeze?
some Batman action, dude. Yeah, but he wasn't. He went back on him being like a sad figure, and he was just a diamond stealer.
Diamonds. Yeah, diamonds.
Get the
Bane was-
diamond.
He looked horrible. Why was he red?
Oh yeah, what the hell was that? Bane. You know what?
So,
You don't often get like reimaginings on the level of Ultimate Spider-Man for like Batman, do you? Like even Earth One still just had like the Penguin looking like a penguin. In like Ultimate Batman, dude, Penguin would be in like he'd be a normal fella who wears a penguin robot suit to commit crime. The Joker would be a normal man who turns into a giant demon clown.
Bane would just be the actual drug. There'd be no person.
Yeah,
The drug would just be Bane.
like what the X-Men did to Banshee, where it just overpowered your mutant powers.
You get Harley Quinn and the Joker. Would they even be like together?
They're like the same person, just multiple personalities.
No, they just got the
idea. Heads.
I always, speaking of identity disorders, I hate the fact that with Moon Knight, when people say he's just Marvel's Batman because I've never clearly read a fucking Moon Knight comic in their life. He's not Batman. The like, comparisons stop at he has a cape. He
and
fights
they go out
crime.
at night.
Yeah, he's rich.
Yeah.
One of his identities is rich, and he has like his logo as like a for his planes and moon crescents and shit like that. That is where it basically stops. The rest are like he's completely different. You wouldn't know from the show because he wasn't even in the show, was he? It was like 5 minutes.
Well, the people who work on the
time.
MCU have never read a comic in their lives, have they? So we can't really blame them for that.
Oh, they hire people who have no experience with law to write court scenes. Oh God. I watched like Lawyer Reacts to She-Hulk and the guy was like, none of this makes sense. So back to do a comic hour, back to the topic at hand.
Ooh.
Which out of the three was your least favorite? Which one did you just sort of I mean it's pretty hard because I think they're all just classics.
Which villain?
Yeah, like which mission was
level?
your least favorite?
I think probably Deadpool, just because like
it was just cameras. You just had to break a shit ton of cameras.
Yeah, it's like you get a bit of an open world. Go smash these cameras. Oh, you've done it. All right, smash these ones. Oh, you've done it. Okay, go smash these ones. Quick boss fight. Get onto these cameras. Yeah, it was very repetitive.
The amount of emblems they had on that level was insane.
Oh, mate. And if I'm honest, I'm not a huge Deadpool fan anyway. Like, sometimes I think he's a bit annoying. It's hard for him to come on and me to like him. Yeah, thank God. Because, like, yeah, the movies were funny, but everything he appears in, whether it's a comic or a cartoon, I'm just like, oh, no, mate.
He's like, I feel like he's only funny or really funny in everything when you're like 12. Because I remember when I was a kid, or whenever an Ultimate Spider-Man was coming out, I found the Deadpool episode funny. That says a lot. I almost regret saying that as soon as
I've avoided that like the plague, me, but
yeah. But like as a kid, it was funny to me.
Maybe it was.
Now it's like I don't want to even look at it.
Yeah.
But did you notice that the emblem sound was again the Web of Shadows one? Like they just
was
reused
indeed. Yeah, mate. It was.
It does tickle a bit in my brain when I hear it though.
Like satisfies you a bit.
Yeah, it's really nice. I don't know. It's just like it brings me back. Like, oh yeah.
Ooh.
That's the collectible sound I know and love.
Mate. Bloody Web of Shadows, mate. How could they make such a mistake? It could have been so great, but I have to play it on mute.
Imagine like Daniel Barnes. Oh no, Josh Keaton would fit better because he's like really lanky for some reason. Imagine Josh Keaton as like that voice actor.
If only, dude. Make the game playable.
Imagine him doing like the Kingpin jokes where like Moon Knight's like Kingpin is planning something big. What? He's getting taken out? I honestly think though that Ultimate Spider-Man was the best in the entire game.
Yeah, not even
His
just like
missions.
jokes or personality, but the gameplay itself.
Oh, the rage mode is so cool.
It
Like it's a
felt
bit basic in a way, but the feeling of when you're like hitting all
yeah,
the enemies in a row,
it's
or with all, yeah,
satisfying. A lot of
especially
the times I
the
was getting up
zombies.
like triple digit combos in that
Yeah.
bit, mate. Crack on rage mode, and then like if you play it on easy, especially because it just doesn't stop, because every punch gives you more. So you're there whipping your tendrils all
Oh
about,
yeah, yeah.
kicking raw ass.
You can literally have it going on if there's enough people, like for the entire battle.
Yeah, that bit in the Triskelion where like all the cell doors are open and it flies up, mate.
Oh, especially with those that red carnage monster things,
Yeah,
because they're a bit more of a pain. Like they're the brutes almost, besides the shield
yeah, they
robots.
take a bit more digs.
Yeah, but then when you use the rage mode, it's just like it's just so easy.
Yeah, the shield
I just
robots I thought were a crafty idea as well. And it fit like story wise how they're there hunting a symbiote and look what Spider-Man's wearing.
yeah, I do like at the end though, where he's like, "We've reprogrammed the androids to like
Yeah.
recognize you as a friend."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh,
Unlike Silver
sick!"
friggin' Sable over in the Amazing Universe, who's like, oh, there's Spider-Man, let's kill him too, even though he's done nothing but help me every time I've encountered him. Even though he helped me with the assassin nation plot. Let's kill
With
Spider-Man.
Sabretooth and
What
Red
the hell,
Skull.
Sable? Yeah, what the hell? Ratty, mate. But
It
Shield are
has
like,
such a cool
especially
cover with
Nick
Spidey holding the
Fury.
flag.
Yeah, mate. Nick Fury doesn't appear in this game, but you know
I
he's
wish
watching
he
on them
did.
cameras and he's thinking, shit, there's Spider-Man, he's so cool. Help him, fellas.
I wish we could have seen Nick Fury. They could have got the voice actor from The Walking Dead again to play him, like just in the Ultimate game.
What one was he? From The Walking Dead.
Lee played
Was he
Nick
Lee
Fury, I
Everett,
think.
mate?
He played. I'm pretty sure he played Nick
Means
Fury
I
in
need you to
the original
back
game.
off,
Yeah.
dick, mate.
What is wrong with you? This is my life. I love when was it Shannon Carter was like, "Do you think he's gonna do it?" And he's like, "Knowing Peter Parker the way I do, he's full
Yeah.
confidence that he's gonna do the exact opposite of what he just said."
I love that bit in that game where he's like, when you beat the goblin and Shield being dead rude to him, and he goes like, you'd think you'd be a little nicer to the guy who just did your job for you. And he swings up. It's like when he's got some bite to him, Spidey's boss, mate.
And that's why I love they
He'll
carried
walk
that
over.
over to the Ultimate World in this game, where Spidey
Such
had,
a sarky prick, and
yeah,
love it.
especially the Deadpool. He couldn't stand him. Like for the
Yeah.
entire mission, he just talks about shutting them up like any way possible.
Is there a mute button for him? That bit was boss, actually. He's talking all the shit about Deadpool. That bit's funny at the end where you're about to do the boss fight and Deadpool goes, oh, there you go, you did it, well done.
Yeah, yeah.
He gives him like a fake
Made
made
in
in
Canada.
China fragment. Yeah, made in Canada fragment, yeah. It's like tricks him into telling him what it does.
What does he say though when he's morphing into the three of them?
Something about getting a candy bar.
Oh, gotta get the candy bar. He's like spazzing out. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And then he's like the
Deadpool,
ring
innit?
girls as well when he
Oh,
walks
that bit was
around
funny, yeah.
with
The
the
one
two,
that
the
with
three.
Yeah.
The boss fights though with Ultimate are pretty easy, just because you're so powerful.
Oh yeah. Yeah, mate.
You can like literally Deadpool especially. You just there's even a point where you almost don't take damage because you're constantly gaining health from knocking people out. So it's like
Yeah.
constant just.
Even like
Not
the
only does the
final
rage mode
boss,
last.
the only bit that you like could be tricky is the second mini boss fight where you're on the platform and he's teleporting all over the place. Because the actual final fight, where like he's chucking grenades and all that shit, all you've got to do is just keep swinging upwards and he can't touch it.
I think as well with the Carnage one, the only thing that would get you a bit iffy was probably, I'll just say, I found there was a moment where he would, it was almost like an Ultimate Spider-Man when Venom would, what's the word, take the life from someone to gain health.
Yeah.
And how Carnage does something similar in the game. But I found, I was like spamming, I can't remember what, I think it was like B. I was spamming it. And it was almost like the game had to wait until it got up to like the health that it deemed it had to get to before I could break free from it.
Huh.
Because I just sat there like just pressing the button like as fast as I could. He was doing nothing. And then he got to a certain point and then he got off. That was the only like trouble I had in the game in a boss fight was that moment.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I'd say the best boss might have been, I don't know, they're all pretty weak though if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Deadpool's easy. Carnage is literally just protect the guards and then do that first person punch. And then Electro is the giant waist-up villain.
Waiting for the robots to get enough damage off on the villain instead of myself, damaging the villain. I thought it was a bit shit. My favourite boss might actually be... Go on.
I just like that out of all the first-person punches, besides Noir, it always works for Noir. It makes sense for him.
Oh, he's a brawler, and he makes these...
Yeah. But Ultimate versus Carnage, it just felt right because you could tell how pissed off he was. He would get up in his face just to start.
Yeah, he hates that thing,
jabbing
dude.
And hooking him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying like, "This is for Gwen, you piece of shit."
There was no mention of Gwen though. Where was the? I didn't see any mention.
Yeah. I suppose the only like sly bit during the first fight with Carnage, where you can kick him into the turbines. He does say, like, "Oh, I noticed you're not transforming into someone I love this time. Let's keep it that way." But he doesn't actually say, like, this is for Gwen or nothing. Because he'd be livid, wouldn't he?
Well, that's why, like...
If this is post-Clone Saga, that thing should be Gwen as well.
I mean, we already mentioned this scene before, but it's just it's the best scene probably in the whole game where he's just pissed off. Like for Ultimate Spider-Man, best scene would be him being pissed off at that scientist.
Easily.
For chill, yeah. It was great.
He actually says the power and responsibility line, mate.
Josh Keaton had, in both of these, like this game and Edge of Time, had 2 moments where he tells someone off about responsibility. In this one, he tells off the worker, and then in the other one, he tells off Miguel.
He tells off Miguel. Yeah. 29 himself gets shit from Spider-Man.
I can't wait to play that one though. Just having Christopher Daniel Barnes and Josh Keaton in it. It's the 2 best voice actors.
But yeah, we're never getting better.
I can't deal with Yuri. I don't like his voice that much.
I don't like how he's now the Spider-Man. Like he's in Marvel Rivals. He's in Ultimate Alliance 3. And like he did okay in the first game, but now it's just like it's gone shit. He's getting all the opportunities that I feel Josh Keaton should have gotten.
Like Josh Keaton almost sounds more mature to me. If I close my eyes and I listen to Yuri Lowenthal's voice and Josh Keaton's voice from Spectacular Spider-Man, Josh Keaton sounds older than Yuri than he does in the PS4 game.
Yeah.
And it's like Josh Keaton's playing a 16-year-old in that one.
Josh Keaton's got the kind of voice where like he could be young, but he can put on like an inflection that makes him sound like a 30-year-old as well. You know what I mean? I could see his teenage voice coming out of an adult from Peter. Yeah.
He sounded like he didn't sound like a 16-year-old to me in this one.
Oh no, yeah. He's got the voice. Like I love Chris Daniel Barnes, but I do think if anyone deserves a proper shot at being the Kevin Conroy at being the what was the name? CH Pounder.
For being the Viola Davies.
The Violet, that was it. And, yeah, I do think if anyone's going to be the Viola Davis of Spider-Man, it should be Josh Keaton.
It's just like it sucks as well because it's not like he's retired or he's not doing work for Marvel anymore. He's literally just playing other characters. He's playing Iron Man. He's playing Electro.
He's fucking Electro. Why is he Electro? Let's imagine if Biff Tannen played Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, you want the ball?
Biff was so
Go
good.
get it. There's a bit of Back to the Future too. He throws a kid's fucking football on the roof and says, "Go get it."
Yeah.
And then he walks off going,
yeah, while Maddie's watching, when Marty's watching the whole time. It's
spectacular. Fucking love it, mate. If Biff was Spider-Man, his villains would kill themselves out of shame.
I love that episode of SpongeBob where he plays the Strangler. And then he's trying to get into his house and he has to go through the window because I think the door's locked. And he's like, "I'll give you a hand." And then for some fucking reason, SpongeBob's wearing like football boots. But the
he's on his
are,
eyes.
Like sharp. Yeah, they're like needles.
Yes.
Straight into his eye sockets. He's like, "Oh,
yeah." The Tattletale Strangler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
He's class in everything he does. It's the best. His Electro is just unironically the voice I probably now hear.
Yeah, because like the Ultimate Games Electro sounded too like nasally. Yeah. And I don't imagine
like hell,
John.
I had first.
Who do you normally hear when you read Electro? Then is it Thomas Wilson who you normally hear? Because I normally hear the fucking Jesse from Breaking Bad when Electro speaks.
Well, sometimes I hear Biff, but like it has to work for the story because I feel like he can't be too sophisticated. You know, he has to be really dumb to be the Biff voice.
He's got to be thick Electro, doesn't he? That's the trade-off. He's got all this power, but he's dumb.
Like, yeah. I love the shit they'll talk to each other. Professor Pickup.
The banter these two have together, because I do see, not just because he's in the original Ultimate game as well, but I see Electro as being like Ultimate Spider-Man's like most, not hated enemy, but more like, oh, this fucking guy again.
I just love
he's
that
not
scene
scared of him,
it's
just like they hate each other.
I love when he's like, I thought we had something special. Who is it? It's probably Daredevil, isn't it?
Probably Daredevil, isn't it?
Oh, it is cool though when Spidey's like knocked out in that game, and then Venom's like mine, and then Electro gets all pissy, man, like hell.
Yeah.
Venom had aura in that game. He was fucking sick.
Venom was pretty sick in that game.
No one could stand a chance against that guy. Even with, like, the Silver Sable cutscene was so cool. You know when they're about to fight in that like aircraft?
Dude, yeah.
And that music as well, the dun 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 dun.
I know exactly what you're referring to, dude, yeah. When he absorbs her and then she busts out of him.
And she's got a like giant staff as well.
Apparently, Thomas Wilson, Biff, he plays the Sandman in Spidey and His Amazing Friends, you know, the Paw Patrol Spider-Man.
The kid one.
He's back, mate. He was in Wrath of Cortex, the Crash Bandicoot game. He was Catman in Batman the Brave and the Bold, the video game.
That is oddly perfect as well.
Nice. Sick, dude. He needs to be in more stuff.
Biff could have probably fit right in with Dick Westcott.
Mate, he was in Spectacular Spider-Man, the cartoon.
Wait. Which? I feel like I can guess the character. Why is it? He didn't Spectacular.
If Spectacular had carried on and developed this character's plot to the level the comics did,
or some shit?
No, mate.
Who was Hydra Man? I feel
I'll
like
give you one more
can guess it. Wait, can I have a hint? I feel like I have an idea of who it was.
in the comics.
Is it Sin Eater?
did
Did he
have
play
a
Sin Eater?
big effect. Yeah, he was Stan Carter,
I remember that one scene where he's with
the
the other cop in the car.
wolf.
Was that DeWolf? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
mate, it was Jean the wolf. So yeah,
she looked a bit different in that. She wasn't even the.
she's like Latina, wasn't she? She wasn't a
She
redhead.
wasn't. Oh my
Underrated
god!
Spider love interest, Jean the wolf, mate. If she'd
Oh,
have
when he
survived and
found the
they'd have like
photo,
developed. Yeah, and he
we
was
were
like,
like,
"Oh,
oh
she really
shit.
did like me." Yeah, I reckon they need to do a what if where like they get together. I want to see how that would have shook out.
Have you
But dude,
seen like
imagine
What If?
spectacular season like 5. They've developed Stan into the city tech,
How
and
could
it's still
they?
big.
Could they get away with it?
Well, they were gonna do direct-to-video movies, including Gwen dying, weren't they? So
No, are they gonna do direct, like actual movies?
yeah, like 90-minute. Like one of them was gonna be they go on summer vacation. What did they call it in America, mate? Not like it might be spring break. They were gonna go spring break. They were gonna go Florida and deal with the lizard again because the lizard only appears
Cool.
once. Spectacular, didn't he? They were
Well,
going to
'cause-
do
yeah,
Goblin
yeah.
returning and Gwen dying. The college years. We
Because I
could have
remember
had if we'd have been lucky. We could have had a
college.
full like spectacular universe going on.
Well, I remember I knew like their plans. I didn't know they were gonna do movies though, because that makes me like severely depressed right now. The fact that we
Yeah.
missed out on like spectacular Spider-Man movies.
And yet we have to put up with Spider Verse.
We actually lost. Even like cartoons, like they had such an amazing, plan that was made with so much love and care for the characters. And then Ultimate Spider-Man is literally the next thing that comes out. And then Marvel's Spider-Man is the next thing that comes out after that.
Mate.
And then Spidey and his amazing friends.
They full on stopped caring. We're never getting
And
the
then
level of
now we got
spectacular
Friendly
again.
Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Oh, mate, I'm not even going to watch it out of like curiosity. I just simply don't care.
They were gonna have
It's
Carnage.
Have you seen? I've seen. Well, I've heard or whatever. I've read online leaks about that Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Apparently, the spider that bites him comes out of a Doctor
portal?
Strange portal because Doctor Strange was fighting Venom. When the fuck did this ever happen in Spider-Man? What is What? Who comes up with this? The people they have behind these, I'm fuming, mate.
To make it worse as well, in the comic store in the city for me,
Yeah.
they have a whole rack like on the counter, so it's in perfect view of when you're going to pay. You might want to get an extra comic, and there's like a solid stack of issue ones of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man there, just not even touched.
The comic that had nothing in it, mate.
And it's like on the counter, so it's in perfect. It's there to literally grab your attention, and no one touches it.
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear it.
It's like it's worse than Electro not wearing pants.
This is why I stick to the classics, mate. Like I said before, the Iguana's first issue, mate. Classic Spidey action. None of this friggin' Friendly
Neighborhood. It has to be the lizard.
Shit. No, it's totally the lizard. Dr. Connors is on the floor.
Well, but if like Billy became the reptile, and then
Kid Reptile or something, dude. What's his name? Superhero Squad Reptile.
Ugh, they did.
And it's not a kid.
Did they do like a butchered version of like Red Raven?
I don't even know. I thought Red Raven was who Tim Drake becomes when Batman died.
Hey, that costume's sick though. I love it.
The Arkham City version.
It looks so realistic.
Yeah, it's like you've got the animated series suit and then this weirdly textured leather cowl Red Robin suit. But the effort.
I do like that when they do like the comic suits and like they make it realistic, but realistic in the sense of this is literally the same suit, but if it was made in real life. They don't add anything
Yeah,
to it. It's just literally like it's realistic in the sense of we used material
like
instead of ink.
in PS4 Spider-Man on the Scarlet Spider, you could see like the honeycomb pattern on the arms as if it
It's
was real
almost like a ski
fabric.
suit,
Yeah,
but then he has like
spandex,
ninja foot, like
everything.
the
Spandex.
ninja sort of. I hate though in that game that nearly every suit that wasn't like out there or a movie suit had the same shitty like PS4 lenses.
Yeah,
Seeing Cyborg Spider-Man with like the big arm with the like normal game's eyes felt so wrong. That
I
is
was just pissed
made
off the suit was orange.
yeah, that too. But like that is
Still am.
made for the big eyes. That costume just looks wrong without it.
Yeah, it screams the 90s, mate. He's got a friggin' robot arm. He's got like a Rambo bandana. Give
Pouches
him
everywhere, like
2020's eyes.
thigh pouches, like everything.
Yeah, it was a Bagley Liefeld blooming masterpiece.
It's
And
so
you give him them
stupid.
eyes.
That's why I'm afraid though if Insomniac ever do the Ben Riley suit finally for once, please. I feel like they're gonna do it like their version, and it's gonna kill the whole point of it.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to see that suit finally be added to the game, and he's got those Ramita X lenses. I'll be like, well, then what's the point? And of all the suits in like both games to get big eyes, the electro-proof suit and the anti-venom suit are like the one of like the two of very few to get it.
Ridiculous.
That is one of the costumes in this game, though, the electro-proof suit.
It is. It makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Do you wear any of the suits? Because I usually go with the red and blue version for Ultimate Spider-Man. Although
Yeah.
it is so
Classic.
lazy though, because if I want to be really technical, the back logo is wrong. It's not the correct logo. We're talking about Ultimate Spider-Man here, and he's got like the 616 back logo.
Has he?
I'm pretty sure they just
No.
reused the asset of the actual
That was the
Amazing
idea.
Spider-Man model for like the back logo, because the body looks like it's like they got the body of Ultimate Spider-Man, the one they made.
Yeah,
The
but he
front
just
logo
put the.
looks different, but then the back logo is just the one from the other suit.
Oh, that's
Because
shit, then, innit?
Bagley always connected the legs on the back.
Yeah, they were right next to each other, weren't they? Like sticking.
That was a staple of his design. Was like all of them had that connected legs, which I actually prefer sometimes. Maybe because it's easier to draw.
Maybe.
You don't have to worry about like balance it out properly. You just draw like almost the shape of it.
Oh yeah, I've googled it here, and yeah, the legs are wrong. Idiots. This is what we mean when we
Fake
say.
fan.
I remember the Amazing Spider-Man game did something similar with the Scarlet Spider suit. It was the Kane version, and it didn't. I don't think it had any back logo when obviously it does normally.
Oh, it's like I guess they did take some creative liberties with the suit, like how 2099 had that weird glowing thing to it. But like some
Yeah,
worked, some
the
didn't work.
haze.
I don't like how this game almost influenced his designs moving forward, like 2099's designs.
Yeah, it's just a costume, and yeah, all of a sudden it's got neon like afterglow.
Oh, it's like
It's just
really
a Day of the Dead costume,
tech-based
innit?
as well.
Yeah, it's not armor. It's literally fabric.
Yeah,
It is
he
unstable
just needed a
molecules.
quick change, didn't he? And he just had that.
He had that from Day of the Dead, and he says it is unstable molecules because they get pretty wild down in Mexico. doing Day of the Dead. But it's not tech-based. It's not armor. It's not cybernetic, so it shouldn't be glowing. And I know we've said it before, but you'd spot him hanging on your ceiling if he was glowing blue, wouldn't you? When he's infiltrated Alchemax. And like, what's
I
that
don't
in
know
the
if
corner?
I liked the how every other suit for 2099 had it. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah, defo, mate. When like the red friggin' spider armor is glowing blue.
It's so weird. But like, I mean, overall, I feel like if you look at everyone's suits, no one had like at least a solid selection. There was like I feel like
That
there
was
was
a bit of
a bit of hits, there was misses. Um, but I guess Ultimate Spider-Man might have had the
What was his
best.
third one? He had classic and electro proof. What was his other one?
Ooh, what was his? Everyone had a cosmic variant, I think.
Yeah.
Um, oh, it was the manga suit. That's right. It was the manga one.
Oh, that was fucking god
That was
awful,
horrible.
mate. Yeah,
That
I'm
was
not
shocking.
touching that.
Yeah,
That can
no,
stay locked for all I care, dude.
yeah, no, it's not worth it. No.
I did like how, because obviously the symbiote's alive, you could see it like squirming on him when you were walking
Oh
around
yeah.
town.
Oh, when your rage meter was ready to be used,
Oh yeah, and it's twitching in the corner, dude.
and then your actual costume as well would like, spaz out as well. It was cool as.
Yeah, yeah, it's best.
I mean, there was.
And
I love
I like how
yeah.
I like how wearing his classic suit is red and blues. It literally says, "Oh yeah, he's just put his other costume over the symbiote because it's still squirming underneath him and shit."
I mean, it can change its appearance though. Like, we just get away with. Doesn't the Ultimate one do that though? I don't think it does.
No, the
The
ultimate
Ultimate
one's
one's
just
like
meant to like it's meant to be like armor, like synthetic armor that
it's
makes you
funny
better.
how that world stripped the symbiote and Venom all of its personality.
Yeah, Christ, he's
It's just
not got
nothing.
any jokes. He's got no banter, no strangers in the night. It's
Hunger.
not
That's
even
all he does.
alien. Yeah, just scream. Yeah, it's not even an alien, dude. It's completely. It's a new character. You could introduce it into 616 with the same background as Peter's dad, but just not call it Venom and have a whole new character there.
Oh, but then you
And they
best
weren't
believe
stupid
that
shield agents.
if they do, though, do that, they'd milk it for at least 20 issues. Like, who's the new host?
Who is? Ooh,
I can't
Ultimate Venom
stand that shit, man.
was one of
Literally,
the survivors of Secret Wars as well.
no way.
The Maker has the symbiote, so Peter Parker's dad's weird cancer cure survived the destruction of its universe.
Was it? Because I haven't read the later on part. Do you know how did Peter even get brought back? Is he like immortal?
Yeah, there's a bit of bullshit for you, dude. So, you know, Oz, the secret chemical formula that Oscorp were creating as their super soldier serum.
Yeah.
Apparently, it just fucking makes you immortal, dude, because that's how the Green Goblin kept coming back after Shield gunned him down after he killed Harry, and then he's suddenly alive again. Peter comes back from it later on. They literally say that because Oz was in the spider, Peter's basically immortal. But then, how's Harry still dead? And how's Dr. Octopus still dead? Because they also had the Oz formula inside them.
It's I don't
Marvel.
know. It's such a weird plot, man, and I don't think it worked at all.
Yeah, I don't think making Spider-Man immortal is a good move. I still think Death of Spider-Man, the story, should have just been his identity getting revealed, and then in a way it's
like
the
just
death of
end it there
Spider-Man because now he's just Peter. Or just end it there, yeah.
because it's like it defeats the whole purpose. It's like, oh, by the way, you're immortal. He comes back. Oh,
I know, yeah,
okay.
there's no threat now, mate.
That's
And
why
the way they brought him back was so stupid.
well, in
He
my
just
head
turns up
canon,
one day. Yeah.
it's more like, well, my head canon in terms of what issue exists and what I ignore. So like it's basically issue 1 all the way up to I think 111 is Mark Bagley's final issue,
Yeah, the end of the
and then like
close.
yeah, like Death of Spidey. Like basically any issue that Bagley was on is what I would count from that first 2 volumes.
Ooh.
You know, as soon as Bagley leaves, I don't care.
Oh,
Volume
it goes
2,
absolute awful.
volume 2, I don't give a shit about. So
God,
it's like literally has to have him on pencils for me to care. And that's what I bother reading. I don't really give a shit about. Although that one Shocker story was okay, where he finally captures Spidey and he's like
yeah.
fuming.
Oh, man,
That
he
was
was
like
pissed
that's
off seeing he
alright.
was 15.
But like the rest are just I don't know. Like it doesn't feel the same when Bagley wasn't drawing that. It was 111 issues or 113 issues in a row of Bagley's work.
And honestly, I know people shit on Bendis. It was all pretty good. There's a few choices here and there where you're like, what the hell? But for its own unique
It was
story,
until the
it
end.
was good.
He just lost his way a bit at the end, but then besides that, it was all solid work. It was all
It was
written.
Ultimatum, I reckon, which I think
But
is right at 111. If Spider-Man had died saving people in that flood, that's the perfect ending there. No problem.
but even like I'd say issues 1 to maybe 50, like around that mark, is all like incredible stuff to read.
Yeah. Well, as I say,
I
I go back every like few years and smash through the whole thing.
well, the start of it's always so good.
Uncle
Even
Ben stays alive until like issue 7, doesn't he?
they expand a lot on it, which I really
Yeah.
enjoyed. They're like, okay, Amazing Fantasy was like 12 pages long. Get ready for like 260.
It's like, they even have the wrestling plot. And there's a scene where May and Ben find money under their door in
Yeah.
an envelope, obviously from Peter, and like, oh, we needed that money.
I love though how he just draws the lines on his suit.
Yeah, it was
He
better.
could although okay, I like it, but then I hate the fact that took up a suit slot in the game. So you
Yeah,
finally unlock a costume. It's just the same suit that you've been wearing
it's
for
such.
the entire game, but without the webs. Even though the game is so pixelated, it looks like you're playing without webs in the first place.
I like to think of that as the never soft Spider-Man
Oh
suit.
yeah. What is it? The Bad Guy Olympics?
Love that
Surf the
game,
web,
dude.
surf the web.
So Galactus.
Submariner. Get serious, brah.
The whole Ultimate. It was so stupid towards the end as well. The way, like, when they did bring him back to life, he literally just walks up to Miles in class and goes, "Hey, give me back my web shooters." Then the Green Goblin kills Jonah, which I was livid at, mate.
Not
And then,
none of
yeah,
the
the
not
good
one of the
Jonah
Mount
Jameson.
Rushmores of the panel pals.
And then Miles beats the Goblin, and Peter goes, "You know what? Yeah, good work. I'm gonna go." And then he
Does he
just
get with
goes.
MJ back? Or are they
Yeah,
like
and they just drive off into the sunset, mate. They just leave. It was like,
uh,
it was never about the needing to be a Spider-Man. It was about Peter himself feeling responsible and trying to make up for letting Ben die, weren't it?
at the very
It's not
least
like
then
it's
he got like
has.
a somewhat happy ending, I guess.
I just don't think it's anything. It's something Peter Parker would do while he's still got his powers.
It's just like
Just
I don't know. It's hard, man.
don't
It's
bother reading
so like the
new stuff.
choices they make are weird because then that led into the world. Didn't that lead into the world dying? and then the
Yeah.
shift in like all new Marvel.
Oh Christ! All new, all different.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. One of the
Awful, dude.
darkest times.
Yeah.
I wonder what the comic sales were back then. They surely couldn't be that high.
No, because all new didn't really last that long either. That was 2014, wasn't it? Was that really? Well, would have been 2016 because Secret Wars was 2015. But it couldn't have been that good because it all went back to the shit pretty soon. Straight after Secret Wars, everything was garbage again. You had the same Dan Slott on Spider-Man. The Avengers were full of, it was like Miles, Kamala,
Oh,
Vision.
was it like the Champions they called?
They ended up splitting off into the champions, but at the time, in 2015, they were the Avengers.
The Avengers
Which a lot of
haven't
people,
had a solid team in a while. I feel like
they
just
haven't
from
had a
what I've
solid
seen.
run in like ever, dude, because it's all shit.
Well,
Yeah,
Hickman took the piss out of them when he wrote the book.
I've got the
Didn't he
Alex
have them
Ross
get
roster up
bashed?
here. Yeah. The Avengers in 2015, dude, were Miles Morales, Nova,
Oh
Kamala
yeah.
Khan, Vision, Woman Thor, Captain Falcon, and Iron Man. What a squad.
I don't know what's worse, that or like the squad in the '60s when it was like Captain America, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Hawkeye.
Make the Kooky Quartet. Don't you dare talk shit about them.
Mate, those series were so like random,
Yeah.
man. You had Captain America who's like, "Am I too old for this?" Hawkeye going,
Maybe I
"You're
am
too
out
old
of
for this."
touch. Yeah, Hawkeye was such a dickhead, wasn't he? And
And then
Wanda
you
and
had,
Pietro was like, we should leave the team. It's not good for us.
and then
But they
Wanda's
need
like,
us, brother.
"No." Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
We
Pietro's
never should
like,
have left the Brotherhood.
"Well, I'll protect you, my sister."
And then
It's like
Doctor Doom's like, ooh, let's lure them to Latveria and crash them.
it's like they were so close, but it just felt weird as well how close they were. Like Pietro was that
Quicksilver's
type
always
of,
been weirdly close to his sister, though, hasn't
especially in the Ultimate Universe. But
he?
Pietro was
Oh,
like, he feels like he feels like Scarface, like Tony Montana, like the way he was to his sister. I feel like if you swapped out Tony Montana and his sister in that movie with Pietro and Wonder's face, you'd get the same feeling.
yeah.
Is there anything else about the
I
Ultimate
think,
World?
well, I think we've about covered it. We've aired our grievances with the classic Ultimate. We've discussed what we liked and disliked about the gameplay. But what I will say I thought was quite cool in the final boss, Mysterio himself, the ultimate portion as you're fighting like shadow clones of all the other bosses. You know what I mean? Like Scorpions
Oh yeah,
2099 and
yeah.
Craven and that, which
They're
I thought
hard to
was
dodge
boss.
though.
Yeah,
Like I
they
feel
are.
like they just automatically lock onto you.
But I thought that was kind of cool how like Ultimate takes on every boss technically,
Yeah.
because you get like the future Hobgoblin like dive bombing at you. You got to dodge him and all this shit. Like
I'm
Juggernaut's
sure
coming
like
for you.
I'm sure seeing Scorpion would have been a bit trippy for him.
Ah, mate, I'm
Even
still
if it's a
fuming.
monster, but yeah.
Well, again, back in Ultimate in the Miles Morales bit, when Peter first turned up, I was like, "That's the Scorpion clone. It's got to be. He's trying to like take over Peter's life now that real Peter's dead, and he's going to turn into a cool supervillain for Miles." No, that didn't end up happening, did it?
But
That would have been
when
cool.
this comes to an end to our series of Shattered Dimensions, which is our second completed playlist.
Quadrilogy, mate, get it? How are we going to
Well,
stretch Edge of Time into 4 episodes?
what did you so what did you think of replaying Shattered Dimensions?
I enjoyed it, you know.
Was there a
I think it was a
standout? Yeah.
nice. I think it was a nice change of pace from all the open world games that we've already got by Spider-Man.
I feel like we could do with more games like it, you know, just a bit more simple games that could come out a bit more frequently. That's linear, that's Spidey or
Yeah,
Even
a
if they
bit
give
more
it,
care
just
put
give
in,
us
little
even
bit
like
more
other
careful.
characters. Like,
Yeah,
give
I'm
us a
still waiting for this
Daredevil
Daredevil game.
game.
Hey,
Surely it's possible.
gotta be, mate. They could even just take detective mode, or like, just if they had like, if you could only see a villain or like a thug, if it was making noise, that's all Daredevil is, isn't it? You're sensing them.
Well, I'm praying that he gets introduced into like Marvel Rivals or something. Like his alt move,
Surely when Born Again comes out.
or he could have like a special move where he can see anyone wherever they are on the map because he would have like
Oh,
radar
that'd be bad.
sense. So like
Yeah.
it'd be everything would be black with red lines, but then maybe the enemies would be like pink almost.
He could make it look really cool.
Oh yeah,
And they
so I
could
mean,
probably
especially
just
with
take,
the creative style, it would be great in the game.
they could take Marvel's Spider-Man and just like put a filter over everything so like it's glowing or whatever, so it looks like his
I think
radar
someone
sensor. And
tried
they've
that
got
with
him.
a mod.
I'm gonna Google that. That sounds cool as hell.
Spider-Man Daredevil mod.
Did you know Daredevil's got no natural front?
What do you mean?
I mean, he
Natural
sees in
front?
360 degrees
Oh yeah, no, I get
during
that.
that Zdarsky run, which was spectacular. Oh, I'll tell you what, let me moan about some comic books to you, dude. I've recently read all of Zdarsky's run, didn't I? Kicked ass. Stiltman got some respect.
He
And
saves Daredevil
it was a
when he's
boss.
falling from the
It-
dragon, and he
yeah,
catches Daredevil, and he's like, "Oh, hey, so man."
but the whole thing was like, that is how Daredevil should end. He literally went to hell and defeated a demon himself. But like,
Yeah, and he saved
he
all
went
his
above
friends.
and beyond simple vigilantism. He basically become like a good Ra's al Ghul. He was trying to better the villains, and it should have ended there. But then I jumped over and I read Fear State, which was a Batman story from like 2021. And everyone was like, it was touted as this, the best Scarecrow story, like Scarecrow's part of the big leagues now. Ooh, it was shit. Have you read Fear State?
No, I have not. No,
It was
I've
a
been trying
fucking
to catch
state,
up to
I'll
date
tell
with
you.
my Batman slowly, but
It
I
was
look at it and I'm like, "Oh
dog
god, where do I
shit.
start?"
It
I
was
think I
awful, dude. Like, Scarecrow at the end, he doesn't really. He basically just like threatens a bunch of people, and then he gets shot by his own like soldier, and that's how it ended. I was like, that was so. Arkham Knight was a better Scarecrow story. He was
I think
barely
his
in that as
voice
well.
was sick though.
Oh yeah, that is the voice. His design in Fear State was shit as well. Just take
I need
Arkham.
to
There's
see
a
what
bit. I am
let me
raw
see.
moaning at you now, like, but at like in like the second issue of the Fear State story,
Oh yeah,
they're
yeah.
talking about Jonathan Crane being like on the loose, and the news report shows three different designs. I think I've saved the photo to send you actually. It shows his design from his first episode of the animated series, where like he's goofy, he's a big scarecrow. And it showed his second design from the animated series from like
Bit more
Fear of
creepy.
Victory, where he's a bit more creepy, yeah. And then it showed his Arkham Knight look, where he's got like the gas mask sewn onto his mouth. And you're like, there's three solid scarecrow designs. Why in the main story are we putting up with this ridiculous
Look, I
looking
just searched up now.
elephant man?
It looks like a poor man's version of the new animated series Scarecrow. Like
Where
with
he's got
that
like the
hat.
elephant trunk dude coming down.
Or like the yeah, like that version because like the trunk looks like the noose. He's got that hat and
Yeah.
he's really dark. It just feels like the shit version of that costume.
Yeah, mate, it was God. The whole story was shit, and I wouldn't recommend it.
Because the new animated series one, that costume is awesome for Scarecrow.
Mate, that is, yeah, because he's actually scary. They
But
call
yeah,
him
I
the
kind of think they
Scarecrow,
got
and they
they
mean
got
it.
away with it.
Yeah, because he's got a noose on him, dude. They don't make, like I said to you the other day, mate, they don't make cartoons like that anymore. The Mad Hatter episode where they like mention suicide off a bridge. The Superman episode where the dude gets the chair.
Even in that Mad Hatter episode where he's like squeezing the rose so hard,
Yeah,
and
and it
then
starts bleeding.
it's crazy.
Yeah, mate, back when. And now we're stuck with Marvel's Spider-Man First Steps, whatever the hell it was called.
Ooh, a friendly neighborhood soon.
Ooh, a friendly neighborhood dog shit.
Spidey and his amazing friends. Even just
God
if you
awful.
looked at Marvel's Spider-Man, the game, the show, sorry, it's
Yeah.
just nothing in comparison. It's nothing in comparison to Spectacular, to the '90s show, to even the '80s show is better. The '80s
Yeah.
show just titled Spider-Man.
The one with Black Cat breaking into the costume party, mate. It's my
The
favourite
one
episode.
where is that? I can't remember if she's in that one. I just remember what he got with Medusa.
Weapon.
I remember like he had a piece of her hair and it was moving, and he kept it.
Ugh, like a snake.
Well, like, I guess like the logic is her hair's alive even if it's cut off. I would have thought that when it gets cut off, maybe it's like dead, like in a way, but I
Yeah.
guess not. I
Maybe
guess
not.
not. So I mean, yeah, it's just we're in a bit of a low state. But honestly, I feel like DC has the perfect chance to just kick the MCU's ass, and just
I'm praying they do.
like. I mean, Creature Commandos has so far been pretty good. Superman looks incredible.
It does look pretty good. Oh, I found the issue that I'm referring to. I'm going to send you a photo of it here. Where it shows all three cool Scarecrow designs, and then we're stuck with that one. It was issue 107 of Batman 2016. There's me Watson. I'm just going to send you the
I
thingy.
get stuck in the '70s of Batman, and I might try to skip to post-crisis Batman comics.
I'm only catching up because they had the Arkham version appears for like 2 panels in one story. And I wanted to see how that went because Adam West turns up as well.
So they probably like acknowledge,
That he's like good designs, yeah.
yeah.
And then they go, but you're sitting through a story with this one.
It is weird though, like how DC, sometimes that continuity just feels all merged together.
Yeah, they keep they reboot, don't they? Like with New 52 or with
Then
like the
Rebirth,
John Byrne Superman. But stuff
with,
eventually always creeps back in.
you had post-crisis, and you had like Rebirth, New 52.
Rebirth literally had Wally coming in and going, no, this is not how the universe should be. Like they acknowledged it.
And even like I'm shocked now that they haven't rebooted again because DC switched their logo to the bullet logo again. Thank God.
Yeah.
But with it, like underneath the logos in the comics, it goes like DC All In. And DC All In to me sounds like they just rebooted it again, but they didn't. But it's just with their track record, it sounds like they did it again, did they?
Like how they had DCU, like YOU.
Yeah, they always have some sort of shitty gimmick, but if I'm being honest, like DC All In to me has been pretty good. When I look at a comic store, I look at the modern releases. Last time I went, DC comics were the only ones capturing my eye. Marvel ones I didn't even have a look at. I don't even know. I don't know if it's the new branding or just the positive state that whole company seems to be in. But Marvel comics I looked through the covers and nothing looked interesting.
No, I know exactly how you feel. Marvel nowadays just feels like they're going through the motions. And DC, with this Superman movie coming out, DC have a chance to like rekindle themselves a bit, If this
They
movie
can
does
be
good,
like
they
how
might
they
get the
were
passion back.
then.
Yeah. Well, with Marvel nowadays, the only real, I'd only ever look twice. No, not even Spider-Man, because it's all shit nowadays. Probably just the Daredevils would be like, oh, well, what's he up to here?
It
Everything
even
else, I don't
sucks
care.
that series is so boring. Daredevil by I forget
It
his name, like
should have ended.
something Ahmed. Yeah, it's like the series
It should
now.
have
It
ended
feels
after
so
that.
wasted.
We've just had the perfect final battle for a Daredevil ever. Let it
Well, it
die.
sucks because like Spidey should have ended a solid 500 issues ago.
Oh yeah.
Daredevil just passed that mark. He was like him and Spidey had the perfect endings as like a similar place. Daredevil was he in the 600s or before the 600s? I can't. It
I
was
think he
like
was in
around,
them.
and then Spidey was in 500. So both characters had like a similar sort of ending point.
A good tenure.
Yeah, and then they both
Yeah.
continue after it.
It's just awkward, isn't it? It's like big life changing shit happens, and then suddenly we're back in New York, and oh, I'm having girl troubles again. Why?
But like
After that,
even the writer like completely fumbled the priest plot that Zdarsky set up. And even in the last issue I read, he threw it away. Like he just quit being a priest.
I don't
So
know.
it's like Matt Murdock doesn't really exist right now. And then Daredevil's fighting sins.
Like Spawn. It's
Like he's fighting
no way.
like Wolverine, I think, had the sin of lust for like blood. And so he had
Oh,
to
for the
fight him.
teenage Mary Jane.
Uh, yes, that was actually his
Well,
goal. He was just searching for Mary Jane the whole time.
somewhere in the multiverse, there's an underage Mary Jane Watson.
Nicola
Bob.
was frothing from the mouth. That fiend. Of course, I love that scene where just Bendis is choking him, and he's like, "Just so you all know,
Yeah, right. I'm on
he's
Bendis'
behind it."
team,
Yeah,
Mister.
yeah, he was the one that did this shit, not me. I promise. How did Marvel go? Yeah, we want him as our editor.
Morons, mate. Nothing has changed in all the years either.
Joe Quesada to Nick Lowe is like, wow.
Do you think if they
You can kill
rebooted,
the
if they
man, but not the idea.
do you think if they remade Shattered Dimensions instead of this Ultimate Spider-Man, it was the new Ultimate Spider-Man?
It'd be Miles Morales,
Oh god,
amazing,
yes.
and Miguel, and then Spider
And it'd
Gwen or
end with
something.
Amazing saying to Miles, "You know you are the better Spider-Man," and Miles would go, "I know."
And Spider Gwen would be there, and Miguel
Oh
would.
Christ.
It'd be like Miguel written how he was in the movie, so it'd be nothing like
Oh
how he's supposed to be
Christ.
written.
Destroyed his character. We'll never get a proper Miguel ever. And I'm livid. He's now the
Nicolas
public
Cage
eye.
now just sounds like. Sorry, Spider-Man now just sounds like Nicolas Cage. It's just.
God's sake. Don't remake it then.
Just do a remaster. Just that's all they have to do.
Yeah.
Release the
You can do
game
a
to the public
duology,
again.
mate. Do like a Return to Arkham, but call it like Return to When the Spider-Verse was good.
Well, it's like Marvel has such a good opportunity to make a lot of money. If they just go to Activision, we need to work out the rights and then re-release all the games
All of them.
and Treyarch as well.
Ultimate Alliance.
I
Tasm won
need
the
that.
game.
It's so unfair how Ultimate Alliance was available on the PS4 for like what, like barely a month? How long was it up for? And then they lost the rights? You're gonna pay $1,000 for the fucking disc version of that game?
Yeah, mate. That's the scalpers have got onto that, ain't they?
Marvel Ultimate Alliance PS4. I doubt you can even find one. It's all PlayStation 2.
Ah.
Why is Avengers coming up? Who the fuck wants Marvel's Avengers?
No way.
You
Not
literally
even to
can't.
warm the fire.
I can't even check on Amazon because it like switched my country to
Oh
something
yeah.
else. I can't find
So,
it anywhere.
final word then. Is Ultimate top of your list?
Oh, definitely. It'd
Yeah.
go Ultimate
Final
Noir
rankings.
2099. Amazing.
Yeah, mate.
What would you say is your list?
And because we never got an Ultimate Daredevil ongoing, we did get Daredevil in Lecture, but it was a bit shit. Because we never got the ongoing Ultimate Daredevil, I'm afraid we simply don't know where Ultimate Micah Sin is. We only assume
we
he's
haven't
still
mentioned him.
in the Savage Land.
Well, but if he was like Ronan, if he was Ronan,
What about if Ultimate Eddie Brock? The reason the Brocks and the Parkers kind of split off was because Ultimate Eddie diddled Peter. Because it turns out, just like how Gwen Stacy is also Carnage, uh, Eddie Brock is also Skip Westcott.
does this world have like an ultimate Mike Murdoch?
There
Or was
is
he like
another
off the
Daredevil
cutter?
that takes over after Daredevil dies in Ultimatum, and there's another young fella with the same powers who takes over, who later becomes a vampire in Ultimates like 4.
Close
So
enough. Welcome back,
that'll
Mike
do.
Murdoch.
Because he wears the yellow suit and stick chains
No
him when they get
way.
bitten by vampires. Yeah. So there's another Daredevil out there. So I'm gonna assume that was Mike.
We're gonna Mount Rushmore. We've mentioned Jameson. We've mentioned Skiff, Micah. Foggy was mentioned earlier, I think.
It was. Ooh, well he has now. Foggy Nelson.
Foggy Nelson. He's. I mean, if he's the Daredevil,
Oh,
he
the
uses the
Daredevil,
fog.
mate.
He
Yeah.
uses the. He uses his foggy mutant powers.
Ultimately, then, we've smashed it. What have we got coming next?
Would be Spider-Man, the animated series. Wouldn't it? The Hobgoblin.
The grand finale, because we've already done Chameleon.
I think in my video I put the at the start like the fuck you chameleon.
Yeah, fuck you, Chameleon. Piece
I
of
didn't
shit.
even say anything.
Hobgoblin, voiced by Mark Hamill, coming up. We might get him on the show, actually. Let's see if he responds.
And then Edge of Time.
Edge of Time, another belter video game, dude.
We're smashing it.
Absolutely. So, from the panel pals, flame off.